Sweetest tongue has sharpest tooth. We love words. They are so easy to conjure up, so easy to create and pour into the ear of whoever we may have targeted. Whether it is someone we want to ensnare as our primary source, who will take on the mantle of being our other half, or whether we are conning a friend to do something for us, words are very much our weapons. They are, of course, far easier to use than actions. Actions require effort, and whilst we are not beyond taking action when the end justifies it, we much prefer to utilize words. Words allow the narcissist to promise so much and deliver so little or nothing at all. Words can be used in an instant and then evaporate away on the breeze, allow us to deny having ever even uttered them. Have you ever noticed with our kind how we always remember what you have said when it suits us, and how we always deny what we have said in order, of course, to further our own agendas? Words are there to be fashioned by our perfidious mouths, charmed sentences which coil about you and draw you into our web. Barbed insults which wound and hurt. We pour those honey-covered words into your ear as soon as we meet you, remarking on how much we love you, how we have always loved you, that we are your soulmate, that we could never have believed that we could love someone so much and in the way that we love you. We remind you repeatedly of how wonderful you are, how much you mean to us, how beautiful you are, how kind you are, how funny you are, and so forth. We will plagiarize poets and authors as we use their quotes about love and pass them off as our own, in order to create this veil of delights which we drape over you, obscuring your vision to our true purpose. Our words cajole, persuade, charm, and invite, causing the listener to agree with us, provide us with fuel, and fall ever so deeply in love with us. Think back to how often one of us told you the most wonderful things, how often we made comments which surpassed anything that had been said to you before. Few can compare with our ability when it comes to the use of words. Few can compare to our ability to liberally shovel you into a great big pile of steaming bullshit. Spoken words and written words are the tools of our trade, but it is the spoken word, those hushed tones that are whispered in your ear as we hold you, that cause you to take leave of your senses and embark on your dance with us. Each word, each syllable that passes our lips is like an enchantment which winds and wends its way into your ears and then coils around your mind. Do you recall how you and the narcissist spoke for hours on the telephone? The narcissist never wanted to let you go, did he? He somehow kept you on the other end for hours at a time, charming you, flattering you, and then somehow knowing all the right things to say to you. You talked for such a long time, and it never felt forced or boring, did it? We always had something interesting to talk about, often shared interests and shared dislikes. Do you remember that time we both tuned into the same radio station and listened to the same songs, which we talked about, remarking on how we liked them, swapping trivia about those songs and talking as the hours slid by? You didn't want to go anywhere else, did you? You wanted to remain on that telephone call forever, content to talk about anything and everything with the narcissist. Even the mundane took on a new complexion, as we would discuss our favourite cheeses, or the best way to remove a wine stain. We exhibited encyclopedic knowledge about so many topics and subjects which caused you to marvel at our brilliance. Of course, I told you that it was the way in which you brought this information out of me, and how nobody else had done this before. I remarked how I had never felt comfortable enough with someone else before you to be able to talk about these things, how you made me feel safe, how you respected what I had to say, and how I wanted to talk and listen with you, and only you. Such flattery from this sweet-talking mouth, and you accepted it all without question. Such was the level of your emotional thinking, so high was it that the red flags that fluttered, the klaxons that blared, the sirens that wailed, were either never observed in the first place, or if they were never heeded. You either knew not what to look for, or where it did appear, you ignored it, because the presence of your high emotional thinking caused you to want to continue to listen to the honey-covered words, the sugar shaken in your direction. You wanted to spend that time with us, because your addiction to the narcissist drove you to ignore the monopolization of your time, drove you to ignore the way that you were being steadily isolated from friends and family, drove you to fail to notice that the exaggerated compliments didn't quite sit right with how you regarded yourself, but hey, it was nice for somebody to talk about you in that way, particularly after that arsehole you were with last time, another narcissist, not that you realized. You felt special, and why not? We need you to feel special. We need you to think that you were the only person on the planet that was worth talking to. The narcissist wanted to share everything with you, wanted to tell you about hopes and fears, wants to know your desires and your secrets, your ambitions and your weaknesses, and tell them all you did. They came pouring from you like a tsunami of confessions as you gave the narcissist so much information and ammunition, which was gratefully accepted. We know that you told your friends, for we had our spy in your midst, about how you had never had such wonderful conversations like this before, and how it made you feel so loved and wanted. This was done by conscious design, where it was a greater or the ultra, and through inherent instinct as a consequence of lesser or mid-range narcissists. It worked to perfection. You fell for the words of the narcissist, those beautiful jewel-encrusted words, although those gems, they appeared like ruby and sapphire, but were worth no more than glass ornaments. The golden anecdotes which turned to brass, the silver-shining sentences, and the dazzling platinum platitudes which all turned out to be lead. The words poured over you, a river of charm, and you let yourself drown in it, driven by your rising emotional thinking, blinded by the torrent. You never saw this silver tongue as it retracted into my mouth, and gently brush across those fearsome fangs. Nobody, and certainly not you, ever anticipates the sharpness of the tooth that is to come. But came it did, and you came to know it, and you did so regularly, as the sugar turned to acid, and the pleasant smiles became wicked leers. My words, once praising, became stones to be slung at you, and you learned, to your cost, that sweetest tongue can so readily accompany sharpest tooth.